drinks, stay in line for drinks. But we're gonna get started, all right? Can you hear my heart beating? Because it's beating really loud. All right, dear members and guests, on behalf of the Greater Fort Kent Area Chamber of Commerce, we offer each and every one of you a warm welcome to the 76th annual dinner. Tonight, we are gathered tonight as community weavers in an age where technology seems to be in every corner of our lives. But we're here tonight to celebrate something fundamental, the art of community building. From the moment that humans discovered fire, we realized the power of coming together, and it was around that very fire that stories were shared, relationships nurtured, and the world began to make sense in the context of community. Tonight we will carry on that tradition. We will celebrate the essence of what makes us human, connection, and community. Our cultural focus here in the St. John Valley is a blessing, and it enriches our lives, and we create bonds that transcend our online presence or our material things. So we are celebrating community and building community tonight. Some quick things, and I may miss some people or some things that need to be thanked. So Amber, if you think of some and you're up here, can you please shout out to them? Okay, so a quick thanks to Sodexo for the meal that we will eat. I wish they were out here because a lot of those students are my people, and they're great, and they're studying here in our community, and they're doing great things. A thanks to the KC for the space to gather in. A thank you to Matt, our guest speaker, who you will all meet very soon, so thank you. To all that have helped. Tonight there are speakers, there's singers, there's video support, there's people that put these booklets together and proofread stuff for us, so thank you for all of that. And then there's this annual dinner committee that pulled this together. You did it, and you did it well, so woohoo! We even took pictures of the light switches and like how the light switches should have been on to make sure everything was perfect tonight. So they did amazing. So a big hand of applause to all the people that put this night together. So let's raise a glass and let's make a toast here's to the stories we continue to tell, the relationships that we continue to cultivate, and the shared sense of purpose that unites us all, our community. Let's enjoy our night. Thank you. I did not thank this person on purpose, but at this time, I'm pleased to announce our very own Nicholas Lalaman from Northern Maine Medical Center as our Master of Ceremonies for the evening. Thank you, Nick. It's all yours.
Thank you, Tammy. All right, can you guys hear me okay? Perfect. I was asked by a few folks from last year. We have a new sound system, so we made sure that everyone can hear us now. But good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nick Lallemand. I've been brushing up on my French, so my last name, Allemand. For those who do speak, I don't, unfortunately, but I will be your Master of Ceremonies here this evening. Welcome to the Greater Fort Kent Area Chamber of Commerce 76th Annual Dinner Meeting. So tonight we're going to celebrate another successful year of service by your Chamber of Commerce to the communities of the Greater Fort Kent area. You know, Tammy mentioned tonight really is all about community and connection. And I moved here to Fort Kent about 5.5 years ago from Florida. After driving 4 days, I'd like to just tell this story a little bit on my experience coming into this amazing community. Route 11 was in the process of getting redone right by Hedgehog Mountain, and I came around a turn. I had no cell service whatsoever. MapQuest was not working. I had been driving for 4 days. I was exhausted. I was tired. I had no idea where I was. I had never been to the state of Maine. And all of a sudden, the road stopped. It was dirt. There was no warning sign, there were no construction signs, and I sat there freaking out for a moment, had no idea what I was getting myself into. And about 20 minutes pass, and I see a log truck coming through. I say, okay, good, the road's open, I can finally get there. But after I moved in and got settled, I needed to get my oil changed. And Chris, I'm gonna call you out on this. But I owe a lot to Chris Malboard. So I was getting an oil change at Pelletier Ford. And people said, well, you know, you're in Maine, you need to get a truck. All right, so I just decided, maybe let me take a look, see what they have. And prior to that, I knew I wanted to get involved in the community. I just didn't know how. So I was looking up some of the different community programs. So I looked at the Knights of Columbus, I looked at the Chamber, and I came across the Lions, and I said, okay, they seem like my crowd. They're kind of fun. So I met Chris, and ended up, long story short, I walked out of there with an invitation to join the Lions Club. That was over 5 years ago, and a brand new Ford F-150. But through that experience for me, opened up so many doors, and I look out to the room in the 5.5 years, the colleagues, the friends, acquaintances, business leaders in this community. Tonight is all about you, and it really is about the connection to the community. I've lived all up and down the East Coast, from Pennsylvania to South Carolina to Florida, now to Maine. Pretty much covered every inch of it. But I have never lived in an area where there really is a sense of community. So I am proud to call Fort Kent home. So let's give a big round of applause for everyone here tonight. So we are going to ask everyone to stand. We are going to have Louise Burgoyne sing the U.S. and Canadian national anthems.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Now next is my national anthem. Oh, Canada, terre de nos aïeux, ton front de fleurs glorieux, car ton bras s'est porté l'épée, il s'est porté la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillants exploits. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Protégera nos foyers et nos droits.
Thank you, Louise. So we now call upon Father Labrie, who will come up to deliver the invocation before dinner. Father Labrie?
Jake.
What's that?
Jake.
Oh, apologies. Change. We have Jake Robichaux will be coming.
No. Father Labrie couldn't make it. Let's just take a moment to bow our heads in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we gather here this evening to celebrate this community and the people in it. Mostly, Father, we're thankful that you allow us to exist as we do, Lord, and we ask that you give everyone in this room the heart to help their neighbor. Bless this food to our bodies, and bless this evening, and let everyone get home safely. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Thank you, Jake. All right, in a few moments, our caterer, Sodexo, will be assisting with appointing tables in order for you to serve yourselves. So tonight, let's enjoy, sit back, relax, have a wonderful dinner that has been tastefully prepared, and then we will resume shortly after. So enjoy. I want to hear the loudest round of applause for Mike and his team and everyone at Sodexo. Thank you, Mike. All right, so tonight we are pleased to have a number of distinguished guests who are joining us here this evening. It is my pleasure to ask the following folks to stand to be recognized. And I would ask, while we go through all of the names, if you wouldn't mind, to hold all of the applause until the very end. And just like we did for Mike and the team, I want to hear a loud round of applause. So first, the 2023 Board of Directors, Tammy DeLio, President. We have Caitlin Valancourt, First Vice President. Mackenzie Roy Hafford, Second Vice President. Don Daigle, Past President. Jake Robichaux, Jessica Audebert, Nicole Jandro, Connor Pelletier, Macy Thibodeau, Lana Vizin, Susie Parody, Catherine Jandro, Jason Neto, Hannah Daigle, and last but not least, Amber Rankin, the Executive Director. So, huge round of applause. We're also joined joined tonight by a number of other individuals who've had a significant impact on the evolution of the Chamber of Commerce. So I'd like to ask all of the past presidents of the Chamber that are in attendance to please stand to be recognized. So, all past presidents? We got everyone? All right. Awesome. Thank you. And our other distinguished guests tonight, please stand to be recognized. We have Sue Bernard, former state representative for House District 148 and candidate for State Senate of District 1. Roger Albert, state representative for District 2. Local dentist Lucian Daigle, candidate for House District 1. Senator Troy Jackson, Maine State Senator. Barbara Hazlett from the office of the Congressman Jared Golden. And also Dan DeVoe, candidate for the Aroostook County Commissioner. And town office personnel, Susie Parody, town manager of Fort Kent. Lana Vizin, town manager of Wallagrass. And Carrie Kelly, Allagash First Selectman. So again, round of applause for these folks. And at this time, I would like to call upon Susie Parody, who's going to be introducing our guest speaker tonight, Matt McHatton.
Thank you, Nick. It is with great pleasure to introduce Matt McHatton as this year's guest speaker. Mr. McHatton joined MMG in 2001 and is now serving in the capacity as president and CEO of the company. Prior to his new role, he served as executive vice president, chief operating officer, secretary and clerk, as well as senior vice president of external operations. Also vice president and marketing director. Matt holds a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration and Finance from the University of Maine and has attended several executive development programs. He was previously employed by KeyBank's corporate banking division as vice president and relationship manager. Mr. McHatton is a board member of the Aroostook Partnership and incorporator of the University of Maine Foundation, a co-chair of the Maine Junior Achievement, and on the Business Hall of Fame Selection Committee. He is past chair and member of the University of Maine Business School Advisory Board, past chair and member of the NAMIC Management Conference Board, past chair of the Aroostook Partnership, a past member of the Hartford Steam Boiler Advisory Board, past president and past member of the Prescott Rotary Club, and past president and member of the board of directors of the Central Aroostook Association. Mr. McHatton is a Rotary International Paul Harris Fellow, recipient of the NAMIC Merit Award, and was named to the 2010 Maine Biz Next List, an award presented annually to 10 individuals recognized as being influential in the future of Maine's economy. In 2019, Mr. McHatton was awarded the prestigious President Abram W. Harris Award by the University of Maine Foundation. Matt McHatton has been married to his lovely wife, Kelly Nickerson McHatton, for 29 years. He resides in Mapleton and has 2 adult children, Paige, 21, and Shay, 25. In Matt's spare time, which I don't know that he really has a lot of spare time, Matt enjoys spending time with his family and friends, snowmobiling and golfing. Please help me welcome Matt McHatton.
Thank you, Susie. We got to shorten that bio down a little bit, I think. Well, it's great to be here, and it's great to be back as part of this event. It's got such energy, and it's really one of the best events of this type in Aroostook County, so congratulations on that. So Susie called and asked if I would speak a couple of months ago, and I owe Susie a few. So I said, yeah, I'll come and speak. And I said, what would you like me to speak about? And she said, I would like you to talk about the strength of community and what I saw as vital to sustain it in the future. So I hung up the phone. I thought about it. I'm like, what am I going to tell Fort Kent about community and how to do it better than it's done in Fort Kent? I don't know what I'm going to come up with here when I do that. So my job takes me all over the place, the East Coast, the Midwest. I haven't visited a place that has as strong a community spirit as Fort Kent in the St. John Valley. You have an identity and a brand that's well known throughout the state and beyond. So I reflected over the past couple of weeks and I asked myself the following question. What makes the Fort Kent area so great? So I'd like to start there, as I think it leads well into what Susie specifically asked me to talk about, which is what's important to maintain your fantastic community going forward. So some of you may be thinking, what makes this guy qualified to do this? That's a really good question. I've been an active observer and sometimes participant in Fort Kent for over 40 years. I grew up in Ashland, just down Route 11. My 4 best friends had the following last names: Baker, Charette, Sidwa, and Grover, although his mother was a Duchesne from Fort Kent. And they were all related and strongly connected to the valley. Their parents were very influential on my early years. I spent a lot of time here, both in high school and beyond. Just as an aside, I was coming back from Quebec City this summer. I took the back way and ended up crossing over here, and my youngest daughter was with me. And I tried to explain the round point to her. That didn't go very well. She's like, Dad, wait a minute, Dad, round point? What does that mean? And wait, you weren't 21? I'm like, oh, forget it, Paige. I'm not going to continue with that. So I went to the University of Maine. One of the first people I met was Tim Freeman. He came up and introduced himself. Hi, I'm Tim Freeman from Fort Kent. And I looked at him, I said, are you sure? Because I'm like, you don't really seem to fit in Fort Kent. So does anybody call him Freebird anymore? I want everybody to call Daigle on Monday and ask for Freebird for me. He'd appreciate that. I'm sorry he wasn't here tonight. So out of UMaine, as Susie said, I worked for KeyBank for 11 years. I had many clients in the St. John Valley, interacted with many great business people that I still call friends and mentors today. So my connections run deep here, and I've always admired your community. With that said, our special way of life, and I'll extend our special way of life to beyond the St. John Valley, beyond Fort Kent, around Aroostook County, is being challenged. And our community is being challenged. And the most important takeaway, if you take away anything from tonight, is that everybody here, we all play a role to make sure it continues. And that's really what I'd like to talk about. So just starting out, what makes Fort Kent special? Reason number 1. In Fort Kent, work is a badge of honor, not a necessary evil. Scott Kent is a very dear friend of mine, and I were talking about it one time, and I said, Scott, if I needed somebody at 3 o'clock in the morning, you'd be the first person I'd call. And he said, yeah, of course you would. It's because I'd be up and I'd be ready to go. Those of you know Scott, that's indeed the case. But, true that, your whole culture is built around that. You're awake and you're ready to go every day. And it's really special here. I know that work ethic isn't what it used to be, but it's still pretty darn good here. That said, it's definitely changing, and how we need to engage the next generation must evolve with it. I'm going to talk about that some more in a minute. Reason number 2. People from the Fort Kent area are very industrious. I'm positive that you all take this for granted. I think everyone in Fort Kent can weld, do some form of surgery, and make anything out of duct tape. It's one of the things I love about this area is how industrious people are, and really one of the things I love about the county in general. We've been doing so much with so little for so long, we're forced to figure it out. And what I'm really referring to here is that there's a spirit to take anything on. You have a culture of action. And we talk a lot about this at MMG. It extends to our company as well. And one of the primary reasons that we've stayed based in Presque Isle as we continue to grow down the eastern seaboard is that we don't give up, and you don't give up here. Reason number 3, there's a tremendous entrepreneurial spirit in your business community, and it's been built by taking some risks. Lots of great businesses up and down Main Street here. I'm sure there's going to be lots that are awarded tonight as well. And they're great to do business with. And in the expansion outside the valley, if I think about any town in northern Maine that has expanded more outside its town, it's Fort Kent. I saw Doug Taggett a couple weeks ago, and then ironically Dan Valancourt a couple weeks later, and we were talking about when they went to Bangor, because we're redoing that car wash right now. What a big step that was to go down there and buy that piece of land. The mall wasn't the mall at that time, and it's incredible what's been accomplished. I always stop there, you probably do too, because it's a taste of Fort Kent and Bangor as well, based upon the service. But you can say that happens time and time again. I could list off many, many businesses that have done that, and that's pretty special that you've been able to take that risk and accomplish it. Reason number 4 why Fort Kent is special. Fort Kent people are nice and genuine. Again, maybe that's obvious to all of you, but there's no part of the world where I've seen it so consistently. I have friends who flew in yesterday from Grand Rapids, Michigan. We were snowmobiling earlier today. One of them is the CEO of the largest farm insurance company in the state of Michigan. I go out there and snowmobile with him in the Upper Peninsula, and they just can't believe it. They can't believe, like we were riding today, and how friendly everybody was. And he's seen a few things, by the way. It's a $1 billion company. So I'm going to take him to the Lakeview tomorrow. I know, but I have my head examined around that one because it's going to be busy, I know. But I've got to get him up there. I've got to get him to see that view right up through the valley, because it will never leave him for sure. There's a minor downside to this nice culture, by the way. So, and I'll extend to the county as well. We know everything about everybody and aren't afraid to overshare. So there's a reason why I'm not taking the CEO of this insurance company to Deans and Portage, because I grew up in Ashland. Because I'll run into one of my Ashland Portage buddies who will start a story with, remember when we were in the gravel pit on the Pinkham Road? Or so if you see me tomorrow at the Lakeview, we got to keep this on the up and up, okay? Even if you didn't like my speech, please say that you did, all right? Okay, reason number 5, you have leaders that include Susie, Carl Theriault, Jim and Nancy Thibodeau, Doug Sear, many, many others. I'm only speaking of those that I'm directly connected to. The quality of your community leaders here sets the bar very, very high, and they're amazing. And it's never about them. I think that's the key component. And you're always interested in helping. I called Carl this summer. We need a little bit of help with the Nordic Heritage Outdoor Center. He was so gracious with his time. He shared so many things. It was amazing. I frequently ping Doug Sear on different things. And Doug's got a pretty busy day job, but he always calls back, and we have great conversations. Just a quick side note on Doug in soccer. When my daughter Paige played here, we had some epic battles with Fort Kent. And we were good, and you guys were really good too. But every time we showed up, it was like the crowd was like we were at Gillette Stadium. And your kids played hard from the first whistle to the last. We just enjoyed being up here so much. Although I did tell Doug, and I told Mike Martin this too, I know you guys grew the grass on the field higher on purpose because our kids played on turf and it's slowing down. And I said I was going to bring my John Deere up and I was going to scalp that baby. You know? I don't think that was truly the case. We had a pretty good laugh over it. So those are the 5 reasons. There's many, many more, but I thought I would set it up there. And I think as you reflect on those things, they're assets in your community for sure. So what do we need to do to focus on in the future? There's lots of challenges. So I'm going to give you 5 more areas that I'm focused on as a business leader. We're focused on at the Heuristic Partnership. Those of you who haven't met Scott Dion, he's our next president CEO. Worked for SW Collins, works for Timber HP out of Madison now, but he lives in Fort Fairfield. He'll be joining us. If you could say hi to him on the way out. He came up with me tonight, and he's going to do a great job in that role. But the first 3 things of my top 5 are related to workforce. And I'll caution that even if we nail these 3, we're short. A big part of our situation has to include bringing new folks into the county. We just don't have enough. But to do that topic justice, it would take quite a while. So I'm going to focus on some other areas. But getting people to come here is really, really important. So future focus number 1. These are the suggestions that I have and the thoughts that I have around how do we keep community vibrant. Number 1, it's okay to encourage kids to work with their hands. And we need to show them. They're the show me generation. That's what I call our young professionals at MMG. You know, you have to show them. You can't just tell them or send them. You have to show them to really get them to take it in. But somewhere along the way, the trades got downplayed, and that's not true, and it's less true than ever if you've tried to hire an electrician or a plumber lately. With that said, you know, the reason why the work ethic is so strong here and so strong in Northern Maine is something that I call the Aroostook County Apprenticeship. Boys and girls worked alongside their moms and dads in the fields and the woods and at the house, and that's faded. You know, our resource-based economy is a lot more automated now, and those opportunities aren't there. But, you know, one of the things that I watch and I'm really concerned with, and try this one out, the next time you're driving into town and you pass a contractor's van, just take a look at how old the guy is that's driving. It's scary. It's really scary, and we have so many opportunities. They're great paying jobs. We've got to do something about that, and we can't leave it up to the trades because they're busy trying to keep the world running for us. So, you know, we got to encourage kids. It's okay to work with their hands, and they have a future in that. Future focus area number 2. We need to stop complaining about the lack of work ethic with the next generation and do something about it. You know, it's definitely faded, without question, but we don't complain about it at MMG because we know it gets us absolutely nowhere. We look to teach them and inspire them and engage them. It's a different deal today. You know, it's funny, we had a young guy working for us coming in late every day coming in late. Manager came to see me. He's coming in late every day. What do we do? And I'm like, well, did you tell him that he has to be here at 8 o'clock? She's like, no, why would I have to tell him that? And I'm like, well, why don't you just try telling him? So he told him, and he actually thought it was like a suggestion that he ought to be coming in at 8. But you know what? Once she told him, he turned into one of our best employees. Our kids don't have that opportunity anymore to learn like they did in the Aroostook County Apprenticeship. We've got to be more deliberate in doing that and bringing that to them. Just as an aside, within all this, we can't get skimpy on education. Our schools are more important than ever, and I fear we're not recognizing that. And a major issue is coming at us. We have to pay our teachers. We have to pay our teachers. It's just crazy. My daughter's a 3rd grade teacher in Vermont, and she loves the kids, but my God, we got to pay our teachers. They're so important to the future. So, number 3 of 5. If you, collectively you as businesses, are not investing in your workforce, it's going to come back and haunt you. So at MMG in 2013, Larry Shaw, the president prior to and I was chief operating officer at the time, we sat down and we did this major study about the future of our workforce. And in particular the succession of, because we had a lot of tenure, a lot of people worked there a long time. And when we looked at it, it was scary what was going to happen in the next 10 years. And, you know, insurance talent just doesn't walk the streets of Presque Isle. You know, we developed a lot of it. You know, and I'm happy to share with you today, after a lot of work, apprenticeships, intern programs, recruiting, how we recruit from the outside, how we bring people in, that today we're 53% of our workforce is under 40, which is pretty amazing. And we're happy to share any of that with you. You know, our processes, our experiences, our successes, our failures. how we recruit. One of the things we did with recruiting, we stopped making excuses that we didn't have a Chipotle or a Starbucks in Presque Isle, and we started talking about snowmobiling to the Lakeview and being outside, and having the North Main Woods available. You got to play to your strengths and stop looking at it based upon your weaknesses. But Susie has my contact information. I'd be happy to share anything with you on our playbook of how we've done, because all of you getting stronger is really important to us. So focus area number 4, we must address the growing problem of childcare. A lack of affordable childcare is reaching a crisis. We just had a big center close in the Presque Isle area last week. We got to find ways to support it, create capacity, get more dollars in the system. I know that our legislators that are here have been a big part of that and working through it. We thank them for that as well. But it's a very fragile system, and I'm really concerned about it. So don't disregard childcare as a problem for someone else. It's impacting our workforce, their productivity, and the future of our kids. We have a work group at Aristic Partnership that we'd be happy to have you join in, that we're looking at the problem and trying to figure it out. One of the areas that we're looking at is we have schools in Aroostook County that were built for a lot more kids than they are today. How do we utilize those facilities? In particular, the Aroostook County Action Program, led by Jason Parent's leadership, they're trying to figure it out. Make sure if you have an opportunity to support ACAP and what they're doing and join us at AP, that you do. This is a major, major problem that we've got to get a handle on. Focus area number 5, the last one. Our needs of an area need to be heard, and we have to influence the decisions that impact us. I was looking at a commission last week that the governor just set up. I believe it was for family medical leave, and I was reading down through, as I always do when I see those, where the people that are making decisions around this are from, and there wasn't anybody from Aroostook County. And we got to get on that one. We got to lean in. We got to make sure we get involved. Sometimes it's hard. I know we live a long ways, but there's Zoom meetings and Teams meetings. We got to step up and we got to get involved. We're very fortunate to have the representation we have in Augusta, but it's imperative on all of us to go after it and raise our voice. And as well, make sure you get involved in the Aristic Partnership if you're not already. So the last thing I'll leave you with tonight. If we don't believe in ourselves, no one else will. We need to be open, civil, and reduce the negativity. I've been talking about that a lot lately. It doesn't do any good, and there's so much of it. You're naturally that way here in the Valley and in Fort Kent. You really are a model for all of that. But we got to reduce that noise. It's getting us nowhere. We got to work together to keep this special way of life that we have. So again, I'm happy to talk with any of you afterwards or in the future. Thank you for being a community that we admire and aspire to be, and thanks for having me here.
All right, Mr. McAdam, thank you so much. And on behalf of the Chamber, we would like to present you with a token of appreciation for joining us tonight. So again, everyone, one more round of applause for Mr. McAdam. And at this time, I'm going to ask all of you to turn to page 1 of your annual report of the 76th annual meeting of the Greater Fort Kent Area Chamber of Commerce. And to conduct the meeting, I call upon our current the 2023 Chamber President, Tammy Delisle. So everyone, round of applause for Tammy.
All right, thank you, Matt. Well spoken. I appreciate that. At this time, I'm going to call our treasurer, Lana Vizin, and our executive director, Amber Rankin, to join me in front so that we may present to you the annual report. Could you pass it back, Amber? sorry. It's not a hammer, it's a gavel. Members of the Greater Fort Kent Area Chamber of Commerce, as your president, I call the 76th annual meeting to order. Let me remind all members that this is a membership meeting. Therefore, all representatives of the member business and associate members of the chamber, along with the chamber board directors, are eligible to move an agenda item and have full voting rights. This is the second item, is that right? The second item before us this evening is approval of the agenda on page 4 of your annual report. At this time, I entertain a motion to second. I need a second. The approval of the agenda has been moved and second. Now I call for a vote. All in favor of passage of the agenda, please signify by raising your hand. Anyone opposed? Motion carried. Item 3 of our agenda is approval of the meeting minutes. Amber.
I am pleased to present for consideration to the membership of the Greater Fort Kent Area Chamber of Commerce the minutes of the 75th annual meeting of the Chamber held on Thursday, February 9th, 2023. The minutes of said meeting can be found on page 7 of your annual report. Thank you.
Thank you, Amber. I will now entertain a motion to accept as presented the meeting minutes of the 75th annual membership meeting of the Greater Fort Kent Area Chamber of Commerce. Nicole, and a second? Catherine? Approval of the minute meetings has been moved and second. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. The fourth item of our annual meeting agenda is approval of the treasurer's report. Lana?
On behalf of the Greater Fort Kent Area Chamber of Commerce, it is my distinct honor to present the membership the 2023 financial report for your consideration. The report can be found on pages 8 through 10 of your annual report. Thank you.
Thank you, Lana. At this time, I will entertain a motion to accept, as presented by our treasurer, the annual physical report of the year 2023. May I get a motion? Easy. A second? Dawn? All in favor? Opposition? Motion carried. The next item on our agenda is election of the 2023 nominated Board of Directors. For that, I call upon Town Manager Susie Parody.
On behalf of the Greater Fort Kent Area Chamber of Commerce, it is my pleasure to nominate the following individuals for election to the Board of Directors. I ask that you please stand as your name is called and remain standing until the vote is taken. For 3-year terms beginning in February 2024, Jessica Audebert, representing John Sherfine. This is Jessica's second term. Catherine Jandro, representing Main Street Styles. This is Catherine's second term. Megan Jandro, representing Trailside Vacation Rentals. This is Megan's first term. Lynn Kelly, representing St. Francis Snow Angels. This is Lynn's first term. Brendan Bowyer, representing Key Bank. This is Brendan's first term. For a 1-year term beginning in February 2024, Dawn Daigle. This is Dawn's third term. These are the candidates for election to the Board of Directors.
Thank you, Susie. The proposed candidates for election to the Board of Directors has been presented. May I get a motion? Mackenzie. Second? Connor. All in favor? Opposed? Congratulations.
Congratulations to the oncoming board members of 2024. It is now my pleasure to present for consideration of the membership of the Greater Fort Kent Area Chamber of Commerce the proposed slate of officers for 2024. Will the candidates please stand as your name is called and remain standing through the election? Tammy Delisle, President. Caitlin Collin, First Vice President. Macy Thibodeau, Second Vice President. Lana Voisin, Treasurer. These are the candidates for election to the Executive Board of the Chamber.
Thank you, Susie. I will now entertain a motion to accept the slate of officers as presented. May I get a first? Catherine? A second? Dawn? The slate of officers has been moved. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations again. The final business before us at our membership meeting this evening is adjournment. I will entertain a meeting for adjournment. Sue, and a second? Dawn. All in favor? Any opposition? We stand adjourned. Yay.
It is incumbent upon the president of the chamber to report to the membership of the organization's most recent year of service. So it's my pleasure to call up Tammy Delisle again to deliver a state of chamber address.
All right. I didn't even get to sit down. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed members of the Greater Fort Kent Area Chamber of Commerce, distinguished guests, and my fellow board members. Thank you for gathering here tonight as we reflect on the journey of the past year and look forward to the exciting possibilities that lie ahead. It's been my privilege to serve as your chamber president. In my 4 years on the board, I think it's been 4, this year stands out as my favorite. And don't think that that's because I've been the president, because that's not the reason why. But because it's been a year of profound reflection and growth. Bless you. Sorry. That's okay. We moved past mere numbers of counting events, office visits, sales, memberships, and meetings to explore what the essence of our chamber represents. This has been a year of thought, examining the very core of a chamber. We've pondered over what our members want and need. We've deliberated on aspects to retain or what to bid farewell to. It's been a year of commitment, where the board, led by our steadfast executive director, Amber, has prioritized you, our members. Amber has been instrumental in keeping us aligned, really keeping us on track, as we plan activities and events, ensuring that the needs of our members are always at the forefront. Whether it's helping 1 member, 5 members, 60 members, or trying to reach all of our members. The focus has been unwaveringly on you, the members. So please don't doubt that. When you wonder about the chamber and what we're doing and what we're trying to do, our members are the focus. This year has also been a journey of personal and I think collective learning for us as a group. I want to express my sincere gratitude to my fellow board members for their patience, support, and invaluable feedback and criticism. It's been welcomed. Amber, in her first 365 days, maybe a little more, right? Now, yeah. Our executive director has accomplished remarkable feats. She's attended conferences and brought back to us ideas on best practices and new and exciting ideas that are out there beyond the boundaries of our little community. As we step into the next year, we are already reflecting on where improvements can be made and how we can collectively build a stronger chamber. Discussions within our board have been vibrant and forward-thinking. Now I need to pause here for just a quick second and tell you all that don't think that we have these monthly meetings and we all sit there and we all agree on things, because we don't. That's not what we do, and I don't think that's what we're supposed to do. However, I must express that it's been the most secure and collaborative working group that I've ever been part of. We approach discussions with respect, even when our opinions differ, and collectively strive towards a stronger objective, ensuring that the welfare of our members is our mission, our goal. I want to express my gratitude for my fellow board members for providing me with this experience. So we've explored and we continue to explore ways to engage our business members. We want you to be more active, maybe in volunteering for some of our events, or participating in some of the committee planning meetings, or we've even tossed around this idea of advisory roles for some of you that are more seasoned to help some new business members. We've scrutinized our online presence and recently voted to adopt Chambermaster, which is a specialized Chamber of Commerce website software. This decision will empower you, our members, giving you control over your business profiles instantly. If you want, if you don't want, we will continue to help and provide that service for you. But this will make information instantly available to visitors and tourists exploring our greater Fort Kent area. Tonight, we celebrate the commitment. Tonight, we will celebrate the commitment and dedication of a select few of our outstanding business members who have exemplified what it means to build community. As we embark on the 77th year of the Greater Fort Kent Area Chamber, I urge each of you to commit to engaging, investing, and believing in our community. This is a little cliche, but together we can achieve more. Always remember the importance of listening and learning about our community. Before I was part of the chamber, I don't think I ever really did that as much as I do now, being part of the chamber. So actively participate and passionately contribute to making a difference. When we listen and engage, we build strong relationships and create opportunity for learning. A resilient organization is built on the foundation of listening, learning, and evolving. Thank you for your support and commitment to the Greater Fort Kent Area Chamber. Here's to another year of growth, collaboration, and community building. Thank you. At this time, I will present the award given to outgoing board members with 6 or more years of service to the Greater Fort Kent Area Chamber of Commerce. It says, say something nice about Jake. Jake led us in a great prayer tonight, but that's not the only thing great about Jake. I didn't write anything down, I'm gonna just shoot from the hip, but Jake, you are the person in the meetings that when we're all like, what do we do? Jake, what do we do? And you tell us, You just tell us. You don't sugarcoat it. You don't do any of that. You just tell us. And we're like, oh, okay. And I promise you, I am going to learn the order of a meeting so that when you're not there anymore, that I'll be able to do it, Jake. The other thing about Jake is if Jake says he's going to do it, Jake's going to do it. And you don't have to worry. You don't have to follow up with him. He's going to do it. Jake has been amazing on the chamber for the years and the experience that I've had with him. So we will miss him. We're hoping to just give him a little pause and then we're going to welcome him back. But Jake, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Please come forward. I might need to call you in your meeting. This is the lady in red. This goes to Mackenzie Roy Hafford. Lady in red, she always rocks it in red. Mackenzie is a strong, powerful woman. And I've had the privilege of working with her on the chamber, and I shouldn't have been surprised by her tenaciousness, her strong will, because I saw her play basketball for my husband, and he would come home and maybe have to have a couple drinks after coaching her a couple times. So, I shouldn't have been surprised. Mackenzie is the person in the meetings when we're all like, oh, that's a great idea. She'll be like, yeah, but let's think about this. Like, oh yeah, that's true, Mackenzie. We do need to think about that. She is strong. She is powerful. And it's been great working with you, Mackenzie. We're going to miss you. Please come up. Sorry. And she's wearing red.
Sure, you know it. Thank you. I'll be back.
She said she'll be back. Oh, I was supposed to read what was on those. Sorry. So, the President's Award. So, at this time, it's customary for the Chamber President to present the President's Award to an outstanding board member during the past year. And I'm sad because this person's not here. This is a young, motivated, driven, professional young lady who is doing amazing things. And she doesn't know this, and she's not here tonight to hear it, but when I used to go to Dance Reflection, I think that's what it was, all the dancers we used to have, she was like my favorite dancer of all times. Caitlin Valancourt has been, last year I stood up here and said she didn't know it yet, but she was going to be the yin to my yang. She's actually the sane to my crazy. She's the one that sits beside me at the meetings and takes notes and is like, let me just write that for you. And I'm like, thanks, Caitlin. And then she's the one when we send out, Amber will send out the agenda to the executive board and be like, what do you think? And I'm like, thumbs up, looks great. Caitlin's like, yeah, but this is spelled wrong and the date needs to be changed. I'm like, yeah, and that too. I think when we sent out the ad for the craft fair, it still said KC. And we were all like, oh, it looks great. Caitlin's like, no, we need to change that. So her eye for detail is great because I don't have that. So my award would go to Caitlin, but she's not here with us tonight, so. But wait. I also want to recognize somebody who takes messages from me. I think our only time out from not messaging each other is from like midnight to 5 in the morning. This person has taught me so much this year. She's empowered me. She's been my cheerleader. She's bavused me once in a while, maybe, told me I needed to do some things, and she's like, you can do it, girl. Amber is a truly amazing person that's leading the Chamber of Commerce right now, and I would just like to recognize her. Please come up. Nick, without further ado, it's all yours.
Thank you so much, Tammy. All right, we are at the point in the evening where we are ready to start giving out some awards. Who's ready? All right. So just a side note, we do have some coffee in the back as well. That dinner was amazing. I need a little pick-me-up myself. But before we get into the awards, we did realize that there was a slight mix-up in the lineup tonight. Earlier when we were recognizing some of our distinguished guests who are with us, we realized that we missed two. They're on the in my binder on the table, but they weren't in the binder up here. So I would like to recognize, everyone I think in the room knows this individual, but former Maine State Senator John Martin is with us here tonight. As well as County Commissioner Norman Fournier. Thank you, and on behalf of the Chamber, our sincerest apologies for missing that, but we wanted to make sure that we give you a shout out. So the first award tonight is going to be our Small Business Entrepreneur Award. What makes a person an entrepreneur? It's a person who has a positive outlook on life, they're innovative, they have a strong work ethic, and they're willing to take risks. The following award recipient possesses all of these attributes and has created a successful small business here in town. Now, the Small Business Entrepreneur Award recipient started their business in July of 22 out of their home. They decided to expand the business to a shop on Market Street, opening in November of 2022. They most recently bought an adjacent building in July of last year, and excited, just had an update, I believe, Tuesday, will be opening at the new location. This business offers a variety of teas, shakes, yogurt bowls, protein balls, and their newly added snack packs. This individual has also expanded their services to include 3 full-time employees. The recipient of this year's Small Business Entrepreneur Award goes to, without further ado, we all know who it is, First Mile Nutrition. Come on up! Danielle, truly, truly well-deserved. I see this person almost every day at the hospital, bringing in delivery tray after tray after tray to folks at the switchboard. I see them all over town, so you don't have to say anything. But really, for your dedication, your visibility, and your growth, the Greater Fort Kent Area Chamber of Commerce wanted to recognize you for the Entrepreneur Award. So, one more round of applause. All right, our next award is for Community Engagement. Community Engagement Award recognizes individuals or organizations that have demonstrated outstanding commitment and effectiveness in actively involving and empowering their community through collaborative initiatives, fostering positive social impact, and contributing to the overall well-being and cohesion of the community. The first recipient of this award goes to an organization that has focused on increased community involvement through healthy lifestyles, town beautification, and safety and social gathering events. In the last years, There are some of the highlights which have changed the makeup of the community. Some of these include Wonderful Wednesdays in the park, has been a great collaboration between the Recreation and Parks and North State Federal Credit Union. The expansion of 7 additional sites to the RV park, beautification to the Jalbert Park building and garage, resurfacing of the swimming pool deck, landscaping makeovers at Riverside Park, which included widening of the walking trails, a dog park addition, as well as a mini putt now being offered during summer pool hours. There have been additional recreation programs and initiatives catering to diverse interests and age groups. To name a few, such as the new after-school program, minor league teams, cheerleading, and soon to be offering pickleball opportunities for all ages. Chris, let's get a team together for the hospital. Let's pray. These expansions reflect the town's dedication, or dedicated director of the Fort Kent Recreation and Parks Department, who continually strives to enhance and create a place of being within our community. Under Jason Netto's guidance, the Recreation and Parks Department has witnessed a significant increase in offerings and has been instrumental in transforming the town's recreation and parks footprint. His accomplishments have not only transformed the recreational landscape of Fort Kent, but positioned the town as a model for how effective community engagement can enhance the overall quality of life for its residents. At this time, we would like to welcome Jason Netto to the stage to accept the Community Engagement Award on behalf of the Fort Kent Recs and Parks Department. All right. It is with great honor and admiration that we celebrate the remarkable efforts of a woman who has dedicated a decade of her life to promoting a group that has become synonymous with joy, unity, and the spirit of the tiny community of Wallagrass. For 10 years, the Soldier Pond Wallagrass Revitalization Committee, with this award recipient as chair, has worked diligently to make events that define the essence of togetherness and community spirit. Pond Fest, the committee's largest fundraiser, has blossomed into a grand tradition that brings surrounding towns together each year around the 4th of July. With a tasty barbecue, exciting games and activities for the kids, and entertainment for the adults, the Revitalization Committee has created an atmosphere where everyone, regardless of age, can find something to enjoy. Several mile-long parade to a grand finale fireworks show that lights up our night sky makes Pond Fest an unforgettable experience. This recipient and the Soldier Pond Revitalization Committee have always shown their unwavering commitment to fostering family bonds, creating lasting memories, and building a stronger sense of community. They are first in line to help with a benefit, or for a benefit supper, and to put on as many events in Wallagrass throughout the year to support our community members and our community center. Thank you, Soldier Pond Wallagrass Revitalization Committee, for a decade of devotion, passion, and community building. This committee is truly a testament to our extraordinary vision, and we are immensely grateful for Elaine Desjardins' vision. So at this time, Lana is actually going to be coming up to accept the Community Engagement Award on behalf of the Soldier Pond Wallagrass Revitalization Committee. So one more round of applause. All right. From the time this school opened until 1989, Bobcat pride was strong, and that gym would be bursting at the seams with fans cheering on the basketball teams that went on to the state championships. High school graduations, end of school awards, and recognition banquets, and many talent shows have been hosted there that drew hundreds of people together. In 1989, the high school closed, and less than 10 years later, the elementary school followed. However, the gym and school building continued to be an important part of the community, and still do to this very day as the center of the community. During the flood of 1991, it was used as a Red Claws shelter, a place for warm meals, a place for families to reunite after being separated. Although it no longer has a school for the community center, the community center still continues to bring people together through many benefit dinners that are held there. Harvest meals, wakes, funerals, weddings, family reunions, town events, town hall meetings, and a place just for recreation, quilting, library, as well as the fire department. In the past year, there has been an uptick in community building events to include 2 craft fairs, a Halloween party with a pumpkin carving contest, a Christmas party, and soon to come, monthly bingo. So the 2023 Community Engagement Award on behalf of the Greater Fort Kent Area Chamber of Commerce would like to recognize the town of Allagash for providing valuable and committed services for communities. So Carrie Kelly, please come up to receive the award. The next recipient of the Community Engagement Award started out in 2015 as a flat committee. This was formed to be able to put flags on poles all along St. Francis to honor our veterans. In order to do this, they needed money to buy the flags. They decided to have a family fun day, one to encourage families originally from St. Francis to come back and visit, and as well as the current residents to have a place to gather and just have fun. They had games, held contests such as pie baking and watermelon eating. It was very well attended, and the people of St. Francis were asking to make it an annual tradition. From that point, they decided to do things to make St. Francis a better and more enjoyable place to live. They had family fun days every summer until COVID, and other organizations joined them to become part of this event. It is a fun-filled day with a parade, games, music, food, competitions, clowns, fireworks, bands. They even invited people living in the nursing homes and assisted living communities to come out and spend the day at no cost. They host a Christmas party for the children, a Halloween party, and a trunk or treat to follow. New homeowners of St. Francis get a small gift and a welcome card. Sympathy cards get sent to people when someone in their areas has passed away. They send birthday cards to all that are 80 years and older, as well as get well cards. They put up a town Christmas tree and buy Christmas wreaths for their Legion post, 180 to put at cemeteries in the surrounding areas, and much, much more. So the other 2023 Community Engagement Award we'd like to present to the Friends of St. Francis for providing valuable and committed services for our community. So Cindy Jonjo, please come up to receive your award. All right, we are getting down. Up next is the Longevity Award. The recipient of the Longevity Award is going to a company that has built its reputation as being locally owned, customer service focused, and committed to supporting the communities it serves. In addition to providing quality products and reliable services to its customers, this company is well known for supporting capital campaigns, charitable events, sponsoring sporting, community events, and it's also known for its staff dedicating time to volunteer during or throughout various events all over the valley and in the county. Founded in Fort Kent in 1955, this very small company with one fuel truck evolved into a successful, employee-owned energy company. Thanks to Guy Daigle's vision 69 years ago, that vision is the company we now know today as the Daigle Oil Company, or Daigle Oil Company, aka DOCS. 3 years after Guy founded Daigle Oil, he built his first gasoline station on the corner of Fort Kent's East and West Main Streets. In 1965, he expanded his retail gas and fuel oil business with the purchase of Johnston Oil and Valley Service Station in Madawaska. Throughout the years, Guy continued to purchase oil companies and build gas stations all throughout the county, including the petroleum divisions of Aroostook Federation of Farmers, Thompson Oil, and Davis Oil in the greater Presque Isle area. Guy retired in 1983 when his son, Rick Daigle, took over the reins. In 1985, Rick brought Dan Valancourt on board, who eventually became part owner of the company, and the two of them continued to grow the business together. In 1986, they purchased Al's Sunoco and Caribou, renovated it, and built Maine's first completely touchless automatic car wash, which jump-started what is now Gentle Bear Car Wash. In 1990, DOC introduced fuel oil price protection plans to the public, which quickly flourished and was featured on the front page of the Wall Street Journal, as well as predicted by the Maine State Planning Office to, quote, forever change the way Maine people purchase fuel oil. Over the course of several more years, DOC acquired more companies, including Transarc Oil, James Oil, Paul's Heating, Willette's Fuel, Porter's Oil, and Purim Oil. 2010, DOC expanded its energy protection product line with the addition of propane, and 2 years later completed its largest acquisition yet of MPG's Energy Petroleum Division. In 2015, Rick and Dan sold 100% of the company to its employees through an ESOP structure, allowing employees to have a personal interest in the success of the company. Today, DOC has grown to become a leading energy provider, employing 145 employees who all work together as a team to continue the vision that was started by Guy Daigle. DOC provides residents and businesses in northern and central Maine a range of products and services. DOC delivers oil, kerosene, propane, gasoline, diesel, installs and services heating and cooling systems, operates 10 DOC's Place motor fuel locations, 6 Gentle Bear car wash locations, and 7 North Maine Woods fueling depots. Rick and Dan, now retired, have passed the reins to new leadership with Doug Taggett as CEO and Carter Valancourt as COO. Together, they lead initiatives to improve customer service offerings and seek opportunities to grow the company with the same momentum and perseverance as their predecessors did. The Longevity Award tonight goes to the Daigle Oil Company, so we would like to thunderous round of applause and to invite the DOCS team up here to accept this award. We still got a couple coming up. So on behalf of the Greater Fort Kent Area Chamber of Commerce, we'd like to recognize Daigle Oil Company for your consistency, your loyalty, and your success. So thank you.
I want to thank the Chamber for recognizing Daigle Oil Company in its 69 years of service to the community. There's a couple groups that I'd like to mention. As Nick mentioned, the ESOP was done in 2015. I'm here tonight representing the 145 or so individuals that are Daigle Oil Company. So with that conversion from a small, closely held company to an ESOP in 2015, we became what we are today. I just want to thank all of the employees of Daigle Oil Company, really the owners of Daigle Oil Company. So I'm here tonight on behalf of all of them. I lost my thought. Anyway, when they go to work every day, they work like they own the company because they do. And I just want to thank all of them for what they do every day. Also, I'd like to thank all of the customers that have supported us over the years. We're really proud to have served you, and we couldn't have done it without you. So this is for them, for our employee ownership and customers. This one's for them.
Thank you, guys. Our next award is the Business Member of the Year Award. The recipient of the Business of the Year Award, after the Aroostook War, brought attention to the opportunities of lumbering in northern Maine. The state of Maine was anxious to develop this great wilderness. Attracted by this opportunity from the state for land to erect a saw and grist mill, Washington A. Vaughn and Samuel W. Collins moved to the area and established a sawmill in the growing settlement along the banks of the Caribou Stream back in 1844. In 1857, the two partners split the land and Sam Collins took over the sawmill, carrying on the large business by himself until 1876. From that time until 1882, he was joined by his son-in-law, Charles E. Oak, and his younger son, Herschel D. Collins. From the beginning, despite many hardships they faced over the years, serving their community was central to the company's mission. Under Herschel's leadership, the business continued to develop as the times and economy demanded. He carried on the grist mill and the general store, as well as the lumbering operations and mills in Maine and New Brunswick, supplying log lumber for Aroostook County, as well as the Boston market. H.D. Collins also developed the home farm to a high state of cultivation over the next 29 years. The period marked the growth of the potato industry here in Aroostook County, and the Collins farm produced many thousands of barrels of potatoes. Mary, the eldest daughter of H.D. Collins, joined the business in 1915 as her father's bookkeeper and became the treasurer of the Collins Lumber Company, incorporated in 1933, the wholesale lumber business with the manufacturing plant in Stockholm. In 1936, after Herschel's death, his son Samuel Wilson Collins became the head of the company. During this period, spruce lumber replaced pine, lumbering operations continued in the woods, and the mill in Caribou, although twice leveled by a fire, continued to do custom sawing. A major change was the important role building, their important role building materials and supplies began to play in the company's business. Sam's second son, Donald, entered the business in 1949. Throughout the 1950s and 60s, the company continued building and selling houses on lots from the family farm. In the 1960s, after several fires where the sawmill and mill workshop burned, the company stopped manufacturing lumber and instead focused on the distribution of lumber and building supplies. In the early 1970s, the Collins Construction Company dissolved and home building activities ceased. S.W. Collins Company decided to support the community by supplying the building materials needed for their projects. As home building in the area continued to increase well into the 1980s, the S.W. Collins Company continued to evolve as a home center store and updated business operations to serve both professional builders and do-it-yourselfers. Don's middle son, the third, Sam W. Collins, is the present leader and the fifth generation to guide the business. Greg Collins, Don's youngest son, joined the firm in 1988 and currently serves as vice president. After Don retired in 1992, Sam and Greg decided to expand the operation into other markets. In July of 1993, they opened a full-service building supply center in Presque Isle. In 2007, Holton's Fog hardware facility was purchased and renovated. In April 2013, the company expanded into Penobscot County by purchasing the Haskell Lumber in Lincoln. Early 2015 marked the grand opening of the new facility for Lincoln. The beginning of 2016, to better serve the most northern region of the state, S.W. Collins expanded to Fort Kent by acquiring Quigley's Building Supply and the adjacent Up North outdoor store. In 2020, Sam's daughter Clara and Greg's son Adam joined the family business as the sixth generation. The history of the S.W. Collins Company is closely linked to the resources found within Maine's vast forests. It all started with lumber. While the business has changed over the years, their dedication to serving their communities has not changed, and it has remained the same. At this time, it is with great pleasure to award the 2023 Business of the Year Award to S.W. Collins, and we would ask Sam and Greg Collins to the podium to receive the Business Member of the Year Award. So on behalf of the Chamber, for your steadfast, unwavering support and commitment to the community, we present you with this award.
So my daughter Clara emailed Greg and I and a few of the troops at S.W. Collins Company and says, you've got to go to the annual meeting. Travis is getting an award. Our manager. So we were all prepared to say thank you, Travis, and for all the great work you do here in Fort Kent. So that's what I have to say. Thank you, Travis. And by the way, I look pretty good for 180 years old, don't I? It's been our pleasure to be in this community. We love Fort Kent, always loved Fort Kent, and the people, and Matt certainly captured the spirit of Fort Kent. Nobody can create community like Fort Kent. And I've made several trips when I was younger up in Fort Kent, and I happened to go across the border in Evanston. That's where I met my wife. So going north is a good thing. And so when we thought about where do we go to expand our business and be a part of the community, Fort Kent was at the top of the list. So thank you. We love being a part of this community. It's a wonderful community, and thank you for all our staff. We've got a great staff, and they're so committed to everybody in this community and helping people and serving their needs. So we appreciate this honor, and thank you very much.
All right, so congratulations again to all of our award winners. At this point, the instructions, Amber, say for you to be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my pleasure to call upon Mr. John Martin and Norma Landry to bestow the highest honor given annually to one of our citizens. We're going to be asking them to the stage to present the 2023 Citizen of the Year Award.
Welcome to all of you, and it is a great pleasure to be with you here this evening to see all the recipients of the awards who make us what we are and who we are in Northern Maine. It is in order to consider the award and nomination must be received by the committee. The individual must reside in the Greater Fort Kent Area Chamber of Commerce Service and must have a certain number of years of which they have been participants, and all for the greater good of the area, the citizens of our community, and not for the personal financial gain of the recipient. Luckily, our region is blessed with a high level of altruism and community involvement, without which our region would not be as special as it is. Again, this year's recipient is a prime example of what makes us special. In your brochure, in it you will see former recipients of the award. And I will go through it, and if you're present, please stand. I know that some of them are not here, but I will be reading their names just the same, and those that are here, please stand. Emery Legs Labby, Alban Bouchard, Bruce Freeman, Danny Nicholas, Dr. Mark Chesse, Gary Saucier, Marlene Pooler, Mickey Levesque, Ben Parody, Rita Canan, Kenneth Duty Michaud, Lucien and Marie Theriault, Kyle Theriault, Alan Dow, who I know is here, Don Guimond, Francis Labrie, Paul Bouchard, James Thibodeau, Nancy Thibodeau, Emery Arms Labby, Patricia Dow, Norman Fournier, Laura Audebert, Donald and Ann Raymond, Dan Valancourt, Norman Martin, Kelly Martin, Norma Landry, and Steph Gagne, and Dr. Lucien Daigle. If you're standing, please accept the thanks from all of you that are here. Each year, the committee gets together, which was my first trip, by the way, made up of past recipients of the award, meets to review the nominations that have been received, and again this year we discussed the nominations and voted by secret ballot to select this year's recipient. The announcement of the honoree is kept secret, hopefully successfully, until the very end. And therefore, I will abide by keeping it secret at this point. But I'm going to ask a person who was also part of the group that did the voting to come forward and make the presentation.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. You've just heard the criteria. Is this okay? Okay. You've just heard the criteria. It's almost scary. It's right in the center of the vision. For the person who's going to receive this award. And if I can be so bold to say that I think this award is past due. This recipient is extremely humble, selfless, generous with time and resources, an absolute lover of life, a caring, compassionate individual, and the love this individual has for family and friends is second to none. Now I'm going to step outside the box for a minute, and I'm going to do things a little different this year. I'm going to divulge our honoree right from the start. So it's my distinct honor tonight to stand before you and introduce to you this year's Greater Fort Kent Area Chamber of Commerce Citizen of the Year. James Jimmy Joe Markey, please come forward. Like saying, oh, Norma. I'm like, I'm nowhere done yet, honey bun. I chose this route this evening divulging our awardee immediately because he has family who's traveled hours and they're in the back. And I didn't think it was a good time to keep them in the closet, so. And I really wanted to get a bench here, because if any of you were in high school when he was there, you probably sat on that bench, but I guess they destroyed it. But to say that Jimmy Joe has been an outstanding citizen is absolutely putting it mildly. Not only an educator, administrator for over 33 years, but a role model to those around him. Yes, Jim was paid for his years as an educator, but he wasn't paid for the many acts he performed outside the classroom, nor was it expected of him. Inviting new teachers, some of them new to our area, some just fresh out of school, into his home, spending weekends with his family and friends, was an often occurrence, not forgetting that even professionals get lonely. Such a wonderful way for him to extend the goodness the people in our community are known for and to help acclimate them to our area. Interrupting his career early on, Jim was drafted into the Army during the Vietnam War. Yeah, believe it or not, Jimmy Joe's that old. But thank you for your service, Jim. Upon returning, Jimmy Joe's, it's going to be Jimmy Joe or Jamesy Joe. He's enjoyed many years as an educator, a coach, administrator, all within the walls of SAB 27. He coached baseball and basketball. I think it went from freshman, JV, varsity. And did you know this is the dude that started the track and field program at the high school? As well as being the National Honor Society advisor. Anyone here who has coached or has been an advisor knows that the pay is extremely nominal, and dedication that's put into coaching and advising is unbelievable. I'm a former high school student of Jimmy Joe's, as well as a former colleague. Jimmy Joe was also my advisor in National Honor Society, and then that time has always held fond memories for me, and what I found to be extremely valuable lessons, as I've never forgotten the pillars of that pledge. Why? Because Jimmy Joe set that template for us. He led by example, one who constantly served others, and he taught us that character was built on honesty, integrity, respect, and reliability. I remember his reaction very well when our senior class dedicated our high school yearbook to him. I also remember his extreme, genuine, humble appreciation of that award. If there are any former students or parents of the Eagle Lake School when Jimmy Joe was the teaching principal there, you'll remember that he started offering students to learn how to ski at no cost. Students that otherwise would not have been able to afford or not have been able to go skiing, a mission he was not financially compensated for, but those rewards were great then, and they've been lifelong for him as well. If you were around town back in the day, you'd see Jimmy Joe going around in his panel van. I think that van originally earned him the title of hippie, but little short one, but. He worked carpentry back in the day to supplement his teaching salary. I mention this trade for the reason that it has followed him well past his educational career. You still find him helping those in need by securing their homes for the winter without any fanfare, no payment, no need of recognition. He's also known for helping local widows with projects well below the going rate. Recently, a widow told Jimmy Joe, "Jim, I think your mission in life is to work for ridiculous low rates, just for widows." I also hear Linda's response was, "That's okay as long as carpentry is the only service he's offering them." Have you seen the face on the people who attend Pat's Ride for All? Much preparation and planning go into organizing this day, and snowmobilers come forward without any coaxing, offering snowmobile rides for those less fortunate, as well as a meal shared together. The result? Countless smiles, lots of laughter, And the smiles are not just with the attendees, they're with the people who volunteered for that event. That's a James E. Joe brainstorm and a wonderful way to keep the memory of his brother Pat alive. Say steady, steady, steady. And if you knew Patrick, that meant something. Jim's been instrumental in the transformation of the search and rescue team for our annual Can-Am sled dog race to what it is today. Jim loves the camaraderie of those who would join him annually for this momentous community event. He might even have a story or two to let you know about some of the trips he and his crew have taken at all hours of the night and in all sorts of conditions, searching for lost mushers or dogs. I love he's made a dual role with his son Jake, who comes from Bangor, to help with this event. His grandchildren, his other son, everybody in his family, in one way or another, has been snagged into that. Jim's also on the board of the Outdoor Center and is active in anything that's happening there as well. He's a past president of our local snowmobile club. And I'm sure that 17 years with the ambulance service, Jim, what did you start for? Maybe like 90 cents an hour? Seriously, if you were...
It's a lot less than that, right?
I think that goes under volunteerism. But speaking of his career and commitment, how many of us can say that an ambulance was dedicated in our name? Quite a feat and well-deserved by this man. And that may be how I got him here this evening, but I'm not sure. I think that was a little white lie. Jim is also the groundskeeper, maintenance person, facilitator, and bush through of the Jalbert Biathlon House. Another act that he does with pride, always wearing a smile. What a wonderful greeting the athletes that walk through those doors receive when Jimmy Joe is there. He's also the lead caretaker of historical Jalbert camps on Round Pond on the Allagash Wilderness Waterway. If you ever want to see a totally relaxed, cool, calm, and collective Jimmy Joe, go on the river with him. You'll also get an education about our local history, second to none. So great is that love. He was instrumental in getting junior high students from a school in Blue Hill to spend a week in an outdoor classroom at Jalbert camps, taking a bus into the North Main woods, and I think it was for 3 years in a row, and organizing volunteers. When he asked you, you just said yes. And those tasks, bringing the students in, the school educators came with them along with the staff for a week in the wild. And they end their week by paddling down the Allagash Wilderness Waterway. That may or may not have made the blotter during one of those trips. And that may or may not be the reason why the signage at North Main Woods Gate says, all school buses must be accompanied by a landowner. Jim has lectured not only his children and former students, but he's been a valued lecturer in our Catholic Church for years, as well as being a very appreciated member of many church committees, as well as volunteering for many functions. He'll be the first to say, I need all the points I can get for when I meet up with that big guy. Most of us agree. He's also that little short Frenchman that altar serves at funerals. He claims that's earning extra points for the next go-round. His heart and free-giving spirit are as perpetual as your favorite holiday. Continual, constant, relentless, and his character remains whole, honest, forgiving. He's a classic. I'm proud to say Jimmy Joe has been a lifelong friend to both my husband and I, though I think his relationship with Andre started on the bench at the high school, so I'm not sure. Jimmy Joe is a lover of life. His joie de vivre is contagious. His love and his caring run deep. He chooses happiness because for Jim, happiness is a choice, not a result. He lives in the moment instead of living for the moment. If he's your friend, you're blessed because he's got your back. Have you ever sat with this man to have a discussion or just a plain old talk? Did you not feel like you were the only person in the room? Never one to judge others, ever. You know why? Because Jim is transparent. If he has anything to say, he'll say it straight to you, direct, and move on. Kind of like when he challenged me one day and said, "Are you the president of National Honor Society?" And I said, "Yeah." "What are you doing with that Landry fellow? I thought you were smarter than that." And if you know Jim at all, many a time you've heard him say, "Behind this great man's my bride, Linda." But you also know that Jim Carrey said, "Behind every great man is a woman rolling her eyes." Jim, it's been an absolute honor to stand here and be able to recognize you for all that you've done for our community, as well as the impact that you've had on so many people. I've touched on some examples of your generosity and kindness, but there are many, many more. I believe you have led many to success, Jimmy Joe, because you believed in them. You believed in them so much that they did not want to let you down. That speaks volumes, my friend. I end with a quote from one of my favorites, Dr. Seuss. "Life is too short to wake up with regrets, so love the people who treat you right, forgive the ones who don't, and believe that everything happens for a reason. If you get a chance, take it. If it changes your life, let it." Nobody said it would be easy. They just promised it would be worth it. This reads the 2023 Citizenship Award, presented to James Jimmy Joe Markey in recognition of his outstanding contribution of time, talent, and effort for the welfare of our area communities.
Thank you. Senator Jackson, please come up.
Good evening, everyone. Troy Jackson. If you didn't know, I actually do live in Allagash, and I am very, very honored to be here tonight. It's been like a lot of years of being able to give legislative sentiments to people, and the number of people that won awards tonight are, outstanding, and I congratulate all of you. The reason why I was really, really honored to be here tonight, this will be the last one that I give for Citizen of the Year. And Jim Markey is someone that I am hugely honored to be here for. A long time ago, I lived between Allagash and St. Francis. When I was living in St. Francis, I ended up my freshman year going to school in Fort Kent High School. I didn't know a lot about it. I didn't have any brothers or sisters that had gone to Fort Kent High School, and it was a bit challenging for me, but I caught a break that I ended up signing up for biology and health with Jim Markey. And besides the fact that he made that class so fun, that it was something that you look forward to going to. And I don't know that I've had a lot of great teachers, but I don't know I ever had something that I wanted to go into so much before. Of course, there was a lot of things he was talking about that for a young 14-year-old boy was helpful. But it really just made me feel so much more at home in a big high school that I really had not a lot of connection to. But the other thing, Matt talked about teachers and paying teachers, and I will say that this session here, all of you in this room have the opportunity to push the current legislature to actually fund teachers at a much higher level. That first year, I was on the basketball team with Tracy Hart and Roderick Thibodeau. We all lived in St. Francis and Taggartville. Well, me and Roderick lived in Taggartville. And Jim was the freshman JV coach. And, we'd go to Holton and stuff like that and play games and get back. It'd be 11:30, 12:30 in the middle of winter. and there was no late bus, you know, it was like, and so the three of us were like, and there was Mr. Marquis driving us up to St. Francis at, you know, 1 o'clock, 1:30 in the morning after a basketball game where he had taught all day, gone to a ball game, and I always remember that. Like, even then, I thought, you know, what a thing that somebody would take the time like that. And, you know, to Linda and your family, you know, that was all time away from you also. And it's really, really incredible. It really is. And so for me, having this opportunity to be here tonight to thank you, because I know at 14 I didn't thank you. It's really, because you made a real difference in my life, Mr. Marquis, and I really, really appreciate it. So thank you. The big thing about sentiments and everyone, but you know, these go into state archives. Everyone in here knows what a great man you are, but 100 years from now, somebody will look that up and once again know what a great man you are.
I also want to thank the family for keeping as quiet as they did. Because clearly you did the job well. You want to take space?
I couldn't have been more shocked than I was this evening. But I will share this with you. I learned it from my parents and my grandparents. You got to do things in life to make a difference. It doesn't have to be large, but do something to make a difference. And another thing I learned, and my sister who lives at Crosswinds reminds me frequently about it, it's all about family, and you can see it back there.
I don't know him personally, but I can't think of a better candidate I just blown away with just learning more about who he is as an individual. You know, the main legislative sentiments are a significant expression of the sense of the legislature. They are a public declaration that honors a personal achievement. And thank you, Troy Jackson, for coming forward to make that presentation for the Citizen of the Year. In closing, I'm going to invite Amber up to conclude tonight's events.
We just want to extend a special thank you to our annual dinner committee. First of all, Caitlin Valcourt, Dawn Daigle, Susie Parody, Macy Thibodeau, Lana Wazin, Tammy Delisle for planning this wonderful evening. Thank you so much. Sue Tardy and the University of Maine at Fort Kent for the compilation of the annual report. Thank you so much, Sue. Peter Saucier, the Knights of Columbus. Thanks, Peter. I appreciate you. Hey, Jake, I'm really thankful for your invocation this evening. Thank you so much. Don Raymond and the slideshow. He is always in my office for the first few couple of weeks before this event, so thanks so much, Don. I appreciate you. And a big thank you to our keynote speaker, Matt McHatton. That was amazing. I appreciate you very much for being here. Congratulations again to all of tonight's award winners, and a very special thank you to our business members. If it wasn't for you guys and your support throughout this year, we wouldn't even have the event that we have tonight. So thank you just so much for everything that you do for us as a chamber and for being here. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening and safe travels to everybody.